So it is time for my favorite video to both do and watch. I love wrap-ups. I think they're my favorite video. I think I even like them more than hauls. I don't know. Maybe I like them about even. So for the month of June, I read 6 books and 1 graphic novel and a bunch of manga as well. So I'm gonna go through this really quickly because I don't want to make this video too long. So the first book that I finished in June is one that I was already reading in the middle of May, and that is Furies of Calderon by Jim Butcher. This is book 1 in the Codex Alara series. So I'm not even gonna say who's the one that recommended me. I think we all know which booktuber is responsible for getting this popular in the community, and I just want to say thank you, Reagan, for bringing this up because I absolutely am loving this series right now. I'm in the middle of book 2 and I just started it at the beginning of the week, like Saturday or Sunday, and I'm already like almost halfway into the book. Really awesome. Gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It is a high fantasy. It's been compared to being like Pokemon for adults, which I could kind of see, but at the same time, it's very different. For me though, I don't like comparing it to that just because it might turn some people off. It might sound like it's a little bit more childish than it really is, because it is not. It is definitely an adult high fantasy, and I'm really enjoying it, like I said, so I'm loving continuing this series, and I'm definitely going to be reading at least 1 every month. Another one that I was reading in May that I finished in June is Dreams of Gods and Monsters by Laini Taylor. This is book 3 in the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy, and I absolutely love this trilogy. 5 out of 5 stars for this. This is probably one of my new favorite series of all time just because it was that good. Like, this 3rd book was off the charts for me. Like, I loved this book so much. I flew through it. I think I read all of this in like a day, and then this I finished a couple days later on my next day off or something. You know, it is a beast of a book, but you get through it fast because the writing is amazing, the story is amazing, and yes, yeah. And then the last book that I was already in the middle of reading the previous month that I finished in the month of June was Raging Star by Moria Young. This is book 3 in the Dustlands trilogy. Blood Red Road is one of my favorite books of all time. It's on my top list and I absolutely loved it. Book 2 was really good too. Not as good as book 1, but it was still really enjoyable. This book, however, was a great disappointment to me. It was good to find out what happened. I'm a little disappointed with the pacing of the book. It was very slow, and I thought it would pick up at some point, you know, but after getting here and it's still not picking up, it took me all of May to get through more than half of the book, and then I read like this much. I had this much left in June, and I read that like 2 weeks into June. Kind of like my feelings towards Divergent. Divergent was amazing, and then Insurgent was good, and then Allegiant was boring, slow in the beginning, and then it had like a really not so pleasant ending to me. I didn't really care for the ending of Allegiant. Same thing with this, like awesome. Blood Red Road was awesome, and then book 2, why can't I remember the name of it? Anyways, that was really good too. This book was just so slow. And then, I'm not going to spoil anything, but the ending was I did not enjoy the ending at all. Very unsatisfying ending to me, and I'm not discouraging anyone from reading it though, because book 1 is just so good. It's so good, but alright, enough. I then needed to pick up some manga, so I don't have the physical copies with me, but I did finish all of the Attack on Titan manga that I own physical copies of, and then I went online and read all of the online translations up to date to where it's at right now, which is farther online than what is released in physical forms, so I have to wait for those to be released in order to buy them, but I have read past it already. Loved it. Love where the story is going right now. 5 out of 5 for it, and it's Attack on Titan. Come on. I then picked up Volume 2 of Dead Man Wonderland by Jinsei Katoka, and I gave this I believe 4 out of 5 stars. I really, really liked it. You're being introduced to more characters. There's more intrigue and finding out, you know, why he's in jail, and it's getting really good. This next book that I picked up was quite the surprise, pleasant surprise for me, and that is Pushing the Limits by Katie McGarry. This is book 1 in her, like, Pushing the Limits, I think they're companion novels to one another, contemporary romance. Honestly, I went into it not expecting to really like it. I was expecting to be pretty bored with it and take basically the entire month to read it. No, I read this in a day. I read this in a day, and it actually, like, I teared up, just because it is definitely about romance, but it is really also goes into depth about each of the main characters and the struggles they're facing in their life right now, and I really, really enjoyed this book, and the writing was really good. I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. With the release of City of Heavenly Fire, I wanted to continue with the series from where I was at, just so I could get to that book pretty soon. I'd only read 1 through 4, so the next one that I picked up was City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare, which is book 5 in the Mortal Instruments series. And honestly, I read book 4 in June or July of last year. So going into this book, I didn't think I would remember anything, but it took me instantly to remember, you know, what was going on. And I believe I gave this 3.5 out of 5 stars though, just because I did enjoy it. I really enjoyed seeing more of Simon and Isabel in here, but for some reason, Clary just is not a main character I enjoy. I'm sorry, I can't tell you what it is about her, but I find her really annoying, and since she is the main character, it really hurts my feelings towards this series. Like, I just can't. I can't give it higher ratings if I can't enjoy the main character. I much preferred when it would switch to other characters' POV, but you know, that only happened every once in a while, and then it would go back to her, and then I would get annoyed again, so 3.5 out of 5. The last novel that I picked up was Mistress of Rome by Kate Quinn. I read this as a buddy reads on the Booktube buddy reads group. I will link the group down below if you want to check them out. This was Kayla's choice from Bookadoodles, and I really enjoyed it. Historical fiction, romance, set in Rome. I think I gave this 4 out of 5 stars. I really, really liked the ending a lot, mostly just because, you know, you get to see characters get what they deserve. Good and bad. So that's what I really liked about this. I also really enjoyed the POV of, like, the bad guy in here, and I don't know if that's supposed to be bad or good, but, like, I hated her, but I liked reading her point of view. I think this is a trilogy. I might get to the rest of the books, but probably not anytime soon. I don't even own them yet. And then the last thing that I read in June was a graphic novel, and that is Lock and Key by Joe Hill and Gabriel Rodriguez. This is book 1, Welcome to Lovecraft, and I super enjoyed this. Now, I do not enjoy horror genre in general. I mean, there are some exceptions to it. I think my tastes are slowly changing, and I'm kind of enjoying that genre more and more, so I kind of wanted to try this out, see if a graphic novel would be better than reading like a full-on novel just to get me introduced more into the genre. But really, this wasn't that scary. It wasn't as scary and gory as I was expecting it to be, and I don't know if that's good or bad either, but being that it was written by Joe Hill, I thought it would be. But anyways, needless to say, 5 out of 5 stars, and this is one of those things that I'm not waiting around to buy the rest because I know I will read them immediately. Absolutely loved this. I already ordered books 2 through 5 on Amazon, and I'm waiting for that to come in the mail any day now, and I will definitely be reading it this month. So those were all the books that I read in the month of June. If you have read any of these or have any comments or questions, please leave them down below, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!